will be posted in the chat box towards the end of the session. Request participants to kindly submit their feedback to get e-certificate. Your cooperation is deeply appreciated. Thank you. Without further ado, let me introduce myself. I'm Shireen Alauddin, Assistant Professor, Department of Corporate Secretaryship and Information Systems Management. I will be your host for today's session. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and happy evening one and all present here. I quote, predicting the future isn't magic, it's artificial intelligence. Day Waters, I unquote. On behalf of the Department of Corporate Secretaryship and Information Systems Management and the Department of Business Administration of Justice Bashir Ahmed Syed College for Women, also on behalf of Tamil Nadu Advanced Technical Training Institute, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all on Day 3 of 7-day International Faculty Development Program entitled Professional Progression in Commerce and Management. Today's technical session is crafted on the topic Information Systems Research Frontiers and Emerging Role of Big Data Analytics. I would like to appreciate and thank each and everyone for allocating time in their busy schedule for joining us today and hope the session lined up to be fruitful and engaging. To begin today's session with a spiritual note, may I invite Ms. Jannat of Second Year Business Administration to invoke the Almighty.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Suratul Sharhi Makkiyah, chapter 94, verse 1 to 8. A'udhu billahi minash shaytanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alam nashrah laka sadrak wa wada'na 'anka wizrak alladhi anqadha dhahrak wa rafa'na laka dhikrak fa inna ma'al 'usri yusra مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب. With the name of Allah, the All-Merciful, the Very Merciful, have we not caused your bosom to be wide open for you, and we removed from you your burden that had almost broken your back, and we raised high your name. So undoubtedly along with the hardship there is ease. Undoubtedly along with the hardship there is ease. So when you are free from collective services, toil hard in worship, and towards your Lord turn with eagerness. Sadaqallahul Alim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallahu khairan khasira, Ms. Jannat. Nothing can be more reassuring and heartwarming than affectionate words of welcome. I now invite Ms. Ramiza Begum, Assistant Professor, Department of Corporate Secretaryship and Information Systems Management, to render the welcome address.
Thank you, Shireen. Assalamu alaikum and good evening to each one of you present today. I quote the words of Socrates. The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. I unquote. Honorable Chief Guest of the day, respected Principal, Vice Principal, HODs of various departments and colleges, faculty members from other colleges, national and international participants, and all my dear friends. It's a moment of pleasure. The guest, Dr. Adnan Muhammad Shah, and the participants who are present here to attend this third day online international faculty development program. On behalf of the Department of Corporate Secretaryship and Information Systems Management, and the Department of Business Administration of Justice Bashir Ahmed Syed College for Women, I convey my regards to the chief guest of the day, Dr. Adnan Muhammad Shah. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation and joining with us to share the knowledge and enlighten the session. We are honored to have with us today the distinguished chief guest, our principal, Dr. Amtul Aziz, our vice principal, Dr. Firdaus Jahan, the organizing secretary, Dr. Barkat. A warm welcome to you all. I welcome all the participants from our college and other colleges. With all those words, I'm extremely delighted to introduce the chief guest for the day, Dr. Adnan Muhammad Shah, who is working as a postdoctoral scientific researcher, University of Hamburg, Germany. Previously, he worked as postdoctoral associate at Florida Atlantic University and Gocheon University, South Korea. He completed his PhD in Management Science and Engineering from Harbin Institute of Technology, China. Dr. Shah presented his research work in the various renowned conferences. He has also been the peer reviewer of several journals such as International Journal of Hospital Management, Journal of Hospitality and Tourism Management, Journal of Retailing and Consumer Services, Information Processing and Management, Information Technology and People, etc. Life here is simple but exciting. There is a lot to learn here. I would like to inform you all that the seminar will completely enlighten you. We are so honored to have him as the chief guest for this evening. I once again welcome you all and also take this opportunity to thank you for joining us. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Ma. Moving right along, now with much honor, I would like to call upon our keynote speaker, Dr. Adnan Muhammad Shah, an eminent personality from University of Hamburg, Germany, to take over the session.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Ms. Shiri, and thank you, Ms. Ramiza, for such a brief introduction and also providing me this opportunity to talk with you about some emerging role of the big data analytics in different industries like healthcare, digital marketing, and the behavioral finance, and also in the tourism management as well. So once again, I'm very thankful to you, very grateful to you for providing me this opportunity. And would you please allow me to share my screen with you?
Yes, sir.
Call Gauri.
I hope so everybody could see my screen over here. Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay, right. As mentioned earlier by Ms. Shiri and Ms. Ramiza about my introduction, I am currently working as a postdoctoral researcher at Chair of Marketing and Innovation at University of Hamburg in Germany. And regarding my previous background and regarding my current research direction, I'm currently working on several projects on the big data analytics, especially in the tourism research, in the healthcare analytics, and also on in the form of the behavioral finance, in the form of the financial analytics as well. Before starting our today's session, let me share my story with you that how I came into this field, especially in the big data analytics and in information system. Actually, back in 2016, when I started my PhD, so I was working on some traditional tools like surveys, like questionnaires, and the interview-based method for my data collection. approach. So one day I was sitting with my professor, and he belongs to information systems, and since I got admitted and got my scholarship in information system department, he was discussing with me that you should work on some novel techniques and novel tools. So I just asked him what kind of novel tools I should work on that one. He said you should work on the some kind of the e-health technology or healthcare analytics. So since previously we heard about the healthcare, but what is the e-health, that was totally new for me. So I was just like started my work for healthcare analytics, reading some journal papers, reading some review papers and some conference papers for this one. Till the start of my PhD and up till like 1.5 years, I couldn't get any point that how from where I should start my application of the big data analytics in healthcare, because previously I have no information or no knowledge about that one. I was just stuck in this one. After 1.5 years, we just sit again and we were discussing about these things, that I have no idea that I will graduate in this field or not. So the professor, my PhD advisor, he asked me, where are you stuck right now? I said that I stuck over here, right? He again guided me and also provided me some more journal details and some more keywords for regarding my research direction. So I again worked for that one. Until 2.5 years, I just came with only a research problem or research question. So since my other colleagues were just working on some conventional research direction, they got 2 or 3 publications, and I was just stuck on my one research question or one research direction. So I again sit with my PhD advisor and discuss with him again. So he again gave me the direction. So you should work on that one. And finally, by the end of fourth year of my PhD, I have enough publication in the big data analytics. Especially, I was working at that time in the healthcare analytics. So I'm going to discuss with you from the scratch that how is someone who is going to work in the big data analytics, how he can proceed in this field, and how emerging and hot area the big data analytics is currently emerging in different fields, like in the form of the healthcare analytics, the tourism management, in the form of the financial analytics as well, or in the marketing analytics as well. So these 4 areas we will cover in today's session, and we will see the different research direction that researchers can work on these research direction and can publish in a very good journals like the tourism management, like information processing and management, Journal of Retailing and Consumer Behavior. So we are going to discuss in this workshop about some learning new information technologies, some new research direction that will help the researchers in the form of the business intelligence and the big data. So before starting our information systems kickoff, it is very important to identify the domain and the problem identification, because the big data is a very vast field. So it is very important to narrow down your domain and narrow down your problem, that which particular area you want to work. Either you want to work in the financial analytics, either you want to work in the HR analytics, either you want to work in tourism analytics or healthcare analytics. So it is very important to identify the problem and the domain, because if someone who wants to work in all directions, so you may have lost your way. So it is very important. You should focus on initially on single domain, and when you get some expertise in that particular domain, then you can spread or expand your domain to some other, like if somebody is working in HR analytics, they can move towards the financial analytics, or like tourism analytics, hospitality analytics, or marketing analytics. So it is very important to first narrow down your domain, focus on one single domain, identify the problem in that single domain, and then you can move further according to your particular domain. So when you're going to, when you have already identified your domain, then think about some new opportunities. And in terms of opportunities, these 3 processes are very important. That is the big data, how you scrape the data from the different websites, from the different online forums, from the different rating websites in the form of the Amazon, or if you are going to scrape the data from the eBay or different physician rating websites. So first step is to acquire the data. When you acquire the data, then you have to process the data in the form of the different, you have to clean the data and applying the different pre-processing technique as well. Okay, because before the data cleaning, if you apply the different technological tools on that one, your result might be biased. So it is very important to you should apply some pre-processing technique on that one to clean the data. And finally, you have to apply the different technological tools, machine learning algorithms to get your desired or whatever you are working on the particular domain to get the particular output. So these processes are very important in the big data analytics, that particularly the researchers that are working on these three processes to analyze the data and to work on the big data analytics. So my suggestion, if somebody who want to work or researchers who want to work in the field of the big data, so these are the top journals in the form of the information systems and in the form of the big data analytics as well. They have the very excellent reputation, very high reputation, and these journals, they focus on the real problems. Okay, and also the applicable problems these journals are currently working on that one. And somebody who want to proceed their career in the big data analytics. So if you want to identify which particular domain or which particular research problem you want to work, so these are the top journals you may focus on and find some research problem or research gaps from there. Okay, so these are the top journals of the information systems field as well. So first of all, it is very important that we should understand the main purpose and main meaning of the big data. Big data is actually previously what we have to do, but we have to use the surveys to collect the data, and we have to do some interviews as well, and we have to perform the experimental research as well. The limitation of the surveys data collection method or some other methods like the interviews as well, the response might be the bias, and you have to it takes a lot of time to convince your respondent to fill that questionnaire, and also you have to give them some kind of the incentives as well. And also the response, if today the respondent, he or she fill that particular questionnaire, his or her response might not be applicable. For example, if someone who filled the questionnaire in the pre-pandemic scenario, his or her response might not be the same in the post-pandemic scenario. And also it takes a lot of time in the form, so it is like the time costly, and also the response might be biased. So to replace them, you have to move toward the big data analytics by analyzing the real data from the different platforms or from the different forums as well. So right now you can see a lot of unstructured data that is available. If something happens, some incident happened, people used to comments on the Twitter about that one. Like recently we have the FIFA World Cup that is going on, and we have a lot of comments, a lot of tweets or retweets about the different football matches on that one. If some controversy that arises, that we have the different comments on that one. So in terms of the big data, we have a lot of data that is available in the form of the unstructured data from on different forums like the Twitter, like the Reddit, some other the Facebook as well, and the LinkedIn as well. So it is very important that that we should analyze such kind of data to analyze the trends, to perform some predictive analytics on that one. So we have, as I mentioned earlier, that previously we used to work on the conventional data. Now the world in the form of the information system that are totally changing towards the real-time data, that is the big data. So big data that consists of the two kinds of data. One is called the quantitative data and other one is the qualitative data. So for the quantitative data, if someone who want to proceed in the quantitative data can be in the form of the rating. For example, if some customer who purchased something from Amazon, so he or she is going to post his rating, like that the quality of the product is good, the price is reasonable, the packaging is perfect, and the delivery speed is perfect. So they assign some kind of quantitative rating in the form of 1 to 5 or 1 to 7 rating on and that as well. And you can easily extract the data in the form of thousands of these kind of rating, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, and you can analyze the data in the form of how the customer satisfaction that arises in the form of those ratings, like the quality of the product, the price of the product, the delivery speed, or the delivery satisfaction of the particular product. So this is called the quantitative data. Researchers that they are working on this kind of the big data in the form of quantitative data. But one of the limitations of the quantitative data is that you can use SPSS and STATA tools to analyze the quantitative data. But one of the limitations of this type of the quantitative data is that your response is very limited. You have only 5 to 7 options to give them to put your response. Okay, so for example, there are many emotional response a customer or a particular consumer he or she has about the particular product. The limitation of the quantitative data, the customer cannot express his or her emotional response towards the product. So for this purpose, the second type of the big data, that is the qualitative data, in the form of the unstructured data, where the customers, they put online reviews and put their negative emotions or the positive emotions towards the particular brand by posting online reviews about the particular product. So to analyze the qualitative data, we have the different machine learning tools where we can apply on it and analyze our data. So the first one, that is the text mining, particularly the natural language processing. So this is the one of the easiest method and one of the first method that I use when I learned the big data analytics. So then again, the difficulty level is going further, like if you want to apply the centric computing framework by analyzing the customer emotions implicitly, you can apply the centric computing framework. You can apply the different machine learning algorithm. If you are analyzing the customer sentiment using visual data like photos, like different images, you can apply the deep learning algorithm as well. You can apply the neural networks, reinforcement learning, or if you want to analyze the customer sentiments in the form of, because if you see on Amazon, some customers, they post online reviews in the form of the textual reviews, and also they also post the product picture as well. So you can use a multimodal approach for the data analysis. And other one is the black blockchain technology and Internet of Things. So big data can be in the form of the quantitative data, the big data can be in the form of the qualitative data. So it all depends upon the researchers. Either they want to focus on the quantitative data, as I have already mentioned, the limitation of the quantitative big data analytics. And if there are some researchers who want to proceed in the form of the qualitative data, is one of the emerging research direction, and they can apply this kind of the computational algorithms on that one to analyze the qualitative data as well. So data mining is in the business intelligence. So it is very important that in the form of the business intelligence, we should know some steps, that which particular steps we can apply for our data analytics. So first step, when we see over here, that is the data sources. So first we have to identify which particular data sources that best matches with your research problem. Either you want to you want to extract the data from different databases, either you want to extract the data from different websites, or either you want to extract the data from social media in the form of Twitter or some discussion forums as well. So as soon as you as soon as you extract the data, so the second step, that is to store the data in the data warehouse. So it is very important, as I mentioned earlier, that when you integrate the data from the different sources, the second step is to perform the pre-processing technique on that one. The pre-processing technique is to clean the data and to bring the data in the original form so that you can move for the further step for the data for the data information extraction or the knowledge extraction from the data. As you move further in the form of the data exploration, you have to work on the statistical summary, like what kind of the words that exist and what kind of the statistics that particular data that has, how many male they have commented in the form of online reviews, how many female they have commented in the form of online reviews, and how many which particular month that has received a high number of reviews, which particular day of the week that has received the high number of reviews. So that is the statistical summary you have to perform on that one. The next step, that is the data mining. Data mining, that is to extract the useful knowledge from the data. For example, if a customer, you are analyzing the online reviews about the particular product, and you are analyzing the customer sentiments about the particular product. So it is very important you should discover what kind of sentiments the customer he or she has about the particular product, either in the form of information discovery, either the customers, they focus more on the quality part of that product, either they focus more on the pricing of that product, and what kind of sentiments, either they showed more anger on the pricing, either they showed more enthusiasm towards the quality of the product. So this kind of information, that is the information discovery. So this kind of information is very important for the marketers or the brand managers, because when they are extracting the sentiments of the consumers, so they are going to design or set the pricing of the product according to this information discovery. And the next step, that is the visualization or data presentation. How these statistics can be presented to the brand managers or to the organization. And finally, the brand managers, they make the decision based on their data presentation. Either they have to improve the quality of the brand, either they have to improve the pricing, or they have to reduce the pricing of the brand. So these are the 6 steps that are important in the form of the data analysis for the business intelligence, or for some tourism management as well, some financial analytics as well. This is the overall model you can apply in the form of the business intelligence towards the different data sets as well. So let me give you another typical view from the machine learning and statistics as well. This is the 5-step process for the data analysis. You have to input the data. Input can be in the form of the raw data, and you have to apply the data pre-processing technique on that one to clean the data. And next, you have to apply the data mining technique. Data mining can be in the form of the clustering, the pattern recognition, the classification approach, the correlation approach, and finally, after the data mining, you can apply the post-processing approach in the form of the pattern visualization, interpretation of the data, and evaluation. And finally, you have to make the decision making that what information that has been useful for the brand managers or the organization as well. So these are several hot research directions where in the form of multiple disciplines, where if somebody who want to work in the form of the data mining, they can work on that one. These are the different different disciplines, the researchers who are working or who want to work on that one in the form of the data mining or the pattern recognition as well. So there are several issues or several limitations of the big data as well. Unfortunately, the big data that exists everywhere, like in the form of the hospitals, in the form of the marketing as well, in the form of the financial data in the stock market as well. But there are some legal and ethical issues as well, because if you are going to analyze the data for the hospitals, so they are more concerned about the privacy and security. Some other issues about the data as well, that is the quality issues, especially when you are extracting or analyzing the Twitter data. So Twitter data that is available in the form of the unstructured data. So they have some kind of the data quality issues as well, some latent variables that are missing on that one as well. And if you are analyzing the customer behavior, and there may be some kind of the selection bias as well. So you can see that these kind of the issues that always exist in the form of the big data, and you have to address if somebody who want to proceed in the big data analytics area. So you will face such kind of issues as well. So although there are a lot of unstructured data available as well, but apart from this, we have some kind of the, like I was working on the healthcare analytics. So we have several issues about the patient consent and the privacy and security issues when we were analyzing the hospital's data as well. So we have to complete a lot of legal requirements for our data analysis, and we have to complete a lot of ethical issues. We have to address a lot of ethical issues in that one. So keep in mind, there are some limitations as well in the form of the big data analytics career as well. So as soon as you acquire the data from the different databases, so now it is very important to pre-process the data. What is the pre-processing? The pre-processing that involves a different step like data cleaning, data integration, data transformation, data reduction, and data discretization. Keep in mind your algorithm will not accept the data in the raw form. You have to convert your data from the raw form to some kind of the numeric data or some kind of the matrix as well. So for this purpose, you have to remove or you have to clean the data, or you have to remove the noise from the data. For example, if I'm going to analyze some kind of tweets, that how the consumer or how the audience they react to the FIFA World Cup 2022. So there can be some kind of the comments that are in other languages, maybe some kind of language in the Hindi as well, or maybe some kind of the tweets in the English or some Spanish language or some other languages as well. So if you're analyzing the only English tweets, so it is very important to remove the other languages tweets from the data. And also you can see that in the Twitter, there are also the different links as well that are posted by the by users. So these such kind of the numbers or such kind of links as URL that doesn't help you for the data analysis. So for this purpose, you have to remove or you work on such kind of the information to remove this kind of the information from your data so that you can proceed for the further step. The next step that is involved, the data integration. You have to integrate the data. After the cleaning the data, since you have you already collected the data from the different databases, the next step that is called the data integration. It means that you have to converge your data from the different databases into a single database. And next one that is called the data transformation, especially normalization and aggregation of your data, because this is one of the important steps. You have to normalize your different adjectives or the different words to perform further analysis. And the next step that is called the data reduction in the form of the representation volume and also the similar analytical results. And finally, we have to move towards the data discretization, means convert your raw data or the unstructured data into the numbers or into the metrics, because your algorithm will not accept your data in the form of the comments or in the form of the some kind of the text as well. You have to convert your data into the numeric form as well. So these are the major steps in the data pre-processing. The next one, that is the sources and application of big data analytics. So big data, as I mentioned earlier, has a lot of implications. Somebody who several companies that are working in the form of the city management, public assessment, performance, the budgeting, as well as social groups, legal affairs, because in the form of legal affairs we have a lot of data that has been generated in the form of the verdicts from the different judges or from the different lawyers. So the writer or the readers, they used to write their comments in the form of that how a particular judge or a particular lawyer, what his or her perception about the particular case. So the researchers, they can work on such kind of the data to improve the performance of such kind of the judicial system or such kind of the system as well. Fashion services, a lot of data that is generated in the form of the online reviews towards the different fashion brands as well. So researchers, they can work on the online reviews, that what customers their perception about the particular fashion brand and how they are seeking in terms of the quality, in terms of the pricing. Particularly when recently we have a lot of issues in terms of the luxury brand, especially in the pandemic scenario, the luxury fashion brand that has been impacted most, especially during the pandemic. So the customer preferences or customer sentiment that has been changed as compared towards the luxury fashion brand as compared to the pre-pandemic scenario. So the researchers, they're working on the consumer engagement towards the luxury fashion brands and how their perception and sentiment that has been changed in the post-pandemic scenario. So since consumers, they have a lot of consumption characteristics towards the different brands, and especially IKEA and also like Oppo as well. So there are thousands and millions of online reviews that are available on different websites or their particular website as well. So it is it is going to be very interesting if researchers, they can work on such kind of online reviews, that how the consumer perception that has been changed in the post-pandemic scenario towards these brands, such as Nike, such as the Chanel, such as the IKEA as well. So millions of online reviews that are available, and especially for the Airbnb, how the consumer or how the tourist perception that has been changed in the post-pandemic scenario. So thousands and millions of online reviews that are available, the researchers can work on that one and analyze the consumer behavior or the tourist behavior towards this brand as well. So these are one of the emerging databases, or like their websites where the online reviews that are available. So a lot of research direction that can be emerged by using the data from these platforms as well. Apart from these platforms, there are also a lot of a number of different measurements or the different tools that generates the big data as well, like your like Fitbit, your health sensor as well, your iWatch, Google glasses, the robots. So these are also the sources of big data in the form of the high-tech products as well. So if somebody who collaborate with such companies, they can get the data from them and analyze. For example, the previously I was working on the Fitbit data, that about how the consumer, how the patient mental health that can be improved by using such kind of the high-tech products. So we collaborated with the tech company and get the data from there and analyze that data. So researchers who want to work on such kind of their data, so they can collaborate with such companies to analyze, so that for the researchers they can work on such emerging tools and emerging technologies, and for the companies they can provide the data to researchers to improve the quality of their products and improve the value among their customers as well. So these are the kind of the tools or the some kind of the tech products that is the cause of the big data as well. Some apps as well that are available. Unfortunately, these are in the Chinese version, but right now we have a lot of available apps that are that generates a lot of the big data. The customers, like we have some mental health apps as well. So also we have also social media apps as well, like TikTok apps, or like some kind of the Instagram as well. So a lot of big data that has been generated from this platform as well. So not only the apps and then those platforms that are responsible for the big data generation, but also we have a lot of data that is available in the form of the 3D interaction as well. How the customer, they move from one part of the store to the other part of the store, how their face movement that changes when they are going to move from one part of the store to the other part of the store as well. How the child emotions that has been changed when they are moving in some kind of the toy store, when they are moving from one part of the toy store to some kind of the other toy store, how their emotions are changing. And these analysis of emotions that are very important for the firms or for the companies or for the brand to improve the quality of the product and improve the sales performance as well. So not only this, but you can see that whenever consumers, they approached the different shopping malls as well, so their movement has been recorded using the Wi-Fi technology, how their behavior that they change when they visit some ground store or ground part of that particular shopping mall, and how their behavior that has been changed when they are going to visit different brands for the upper store as well. So the Wi-Fi tracking direction, they track the customer trajectory, that how their emotions or how their movements that are changing towards the particular brand as well. So these are the reflection of big data, where the researchers, they can work on that one by collaborating with those shopping malls who collect the data, and for collaborating with the different shopping companies as well. So somebody, the behavior, that all depends upon the personality traits. Somebody who purchased an iPhone X in the New York, his or her behavior cannot be same as compared to his friend or her friend who purchased some kind of the iPhone or iPhone X in the Beijing as well. So how the attitude and how the consumption behavior, that can be the different according to the location. So it is very important for the iPhone or for the tech companies. They can the researchers, they can analyze such kind of data, and for the tech companies, they provide such kind of data to researchers so that they can provide or they can build the customized product to their customers according to the different locations. For example, they can design the product or make some kind of customization for the New York customer as compared to customers who are working in Beijing as well. Also, the bike system in Beijing, this is one of the picture from the Beijing. So bike system, they have the tracker over there. So it is also a kind of the generation of the big data as well, that how the consumer, they are moving towards the one part of the city and how their preferences that has been changed when they are moving to the other part of the city as well. So the bicycle companies, they are tracking the consumer data and provide the data to the tech companies or towards different brands to track the consumer preferences as well. So researchers who want to work on the big data, these are some research streams in the digital environment, especially in the marketing analytics, in the form of the business to consumers, consumer to consumers, business to business, or business to consumers. They can work on that one and use the big data analytics for these research direction in the form of the consumer engagement, online decision aids as well, online privacy, online advertisement, using online reviews and online social networks. So these are the several research direction or several field in the form of the digital environment where the researchers, they can use the big data and move towards the one kind of the field and analyze how, for example, how the consumer engagement that changes towards the luxury fashion brand in the post-pandemic scenario. So there are a lot of thousands of online reviews that are available for the post-pandemic scenario as well. And so they can analyze those reviews and see how the consumer engagement that changes compared to the pre-pandemic or post-pandemic scenario as well. So that is the first part of our research stream, and that is the big data in marketing. So the next part that belongs to the big data in finance. Let's see that how the big data that has been working in the finance and how researchers that are working in the financial analytics as well. So it is very important that we should select some domain in the behavioral finance, that how the behavioral finance that has been changing since last 2 years. Previously, in the behavioral finance, the researchers, they used to get the data in the form of the different reports or use some kind of survey questionnaires to collect the data from the different investors in the stock market. So the problem, as I mentioned earlier, the problem of those surveys data is because the stock market, that is all depend upon the economy or some kind of the shocks as well. For example, if someone, some investor who filled that questionnaire today, might be some negative events that happen and the stock market is going to be crashed. So the applicability of that response might not be valid for that negative event. So it is very important, especially in the behavioral finance, that we should use some kind of the real data to investigate the investor behavior, because previously most of the work that has been focused on in the form of this traditional tools, most of the focus on the consumer behavior. Since consumers, they have the different emotions towards a particular brand and towards a particular product, and also they consider the different decision-making process in the form of information search, product evaluation, the product description, and finally they purchase the product. So similarly, the investor behavior, it is also very important. We should investigate the investor behavior as well in the behavioral finance. So as compared to the consumer decision-making behavior, there are different biases in the investor behavior. So there are several theories that has been emerged in the behavioral finance, and working on using the different AI tools and machine learning tools, that how the overconfidence of investors, financial and cognitive dissonance, and regret that affect the consumer investor decision-making process. So let's move towards how the artificial intelligence and machine learning that has changed the world of the behavioral finance as well. So for this purpose, I put several latest literature, especially the application of artificial intelligence and machine learning in finance. These are one of the latest literature published in 2021 and 2022 in the top journals like Information System Research and research in international business and finance as well. So let's see that what they talk about the role of artificial intelligence and behavioral finance as well. We can see since last 2 or 3 years, the role of artificial intelligence and machine learning has been enhanced, especially in the financial sector as well. So you can see the number of publication or number of documents that has been grown from 2017 and onward to this point, according to the data analysis that has been analyzed in these 3 manuscripts as well. And you can see that how the artificial intelligence and machine learning, they are growing recently, especially since last 2 or 3 years. And especially most of the product and impactful countries that they work on the financial analytics, that is the United States and United Kingdom, China, Germany, Italy, France, and India. They work mostly most impactful work in the form of the financial analytics or the application of machine learning in the finance as well. So by analyzing the data using the different keywords from the Web of Sciences, we can see over here that machine learning and the algorithmic part of the behavioral finance that has been emerged in the as the most hot keywords since according to the data analysis. So it is one of the hot areas since last couple of years, where researchers, they can work on the machine learning tools and how the machine learning they can extract the different they can do different prediction in the form of the stock market analysis, and also perform the different language processing, natural language processing techniques as well. Since by most of the previous work that based on the text classification of the financial data, so the text classification and investor behavior that has been emerged as the most influential topics in the form of the financial or behavioral decision making, or the financial decision making as well. So researchers who want to proceed, they can work on the text classification for the investor behavior and investment decision making, analyze how the investor behavior that has been changing towards the different scenarios as well. So these are several research streams that has been emerged, and one of the hot research areas that researchers, they can work on that one and can publish in some good journals. It is not very important that the researchers could focus all these 6 streams, because I'm not expert in all these 6 streams, because I mostly focus on research stream number 5 and number 6 research stream. I'm not good in 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I would not encourage you to focus on all these 6 streams. It is better to focus on just one or 2 research streams. So the research stream 1 that mostly focus on the bankruptcy prediction and credit risk assessment. Research 2 is stream 2 that is mostly focused on stock price prediction, portfolio management, volatility, and liquidity. Research stream 3 that focus on the prediction of the price of the oil, gold, and the agriculture product. Research stream 4, one of the interesting area, but I have no expertise in that one, that is the anti-money laundering, anti-fraud detection, and risk management. And the research stream 5, that is the behavioral finance, like in how the investor decision making that has been impacted based on their sentiments, or based on the stock market data, or based on the different shocks as well. And research stream 6 that is based on the big data analytics, blockchain, and data mining. You can combine, since I'm working on the research stream 5 and 6, I combine the research stream 5 and 6, that how the text mining or big data analytics that has the implication in the behavioral finance in the form of investor decision making process. So if somebody who want to work on this on these research streams, I would encourage to focus on 1 or 2 research stream, not on these research. Yeah, if you have enough capabilities, you can further move to all other research streams as well. So since the research stream 6, that is the big data, analytics, blockchain, and data mining, is one of the vast field. So it has also implication in some other research stream like stream 5 in the behavioral finance as well. So these are the one of the 6 research streams, hot research streams. The researchers can work on that one and publish their work in some good journals. So these were the two implications of the big data. The number one is in the digital marketing and marketing analytics. The second one was in the behavioral finance. The third one is the hospitality, the implication of the big data analytics in tourism and hospitality industry. So let's see how big data is transforming the tourism and hospitality industry. Especially from 2015 and onward, especially 2016 and onward, the big data and the data mining has the number of papers that has been grown from 2016 and onward in the form of tourism and hospitality research as well. So many researchers, they are more focusing on the real data in the form of the big data analytics to publish their work. So because this is one of the credible data, and the researchers can work on that one, and also the reviewer, they know the credibility and the credibility of the and reputation of the particular data. Because if somebody who is scraping some honest reviews from the particular site, the reviewers of the particular paper, they know that this data has been scraped from this particular website or particular platform. So, but if you are going to collect the data from some kind of the survey, so they might not have such kind of information about the credibility of the data or the recency of the data as well. So, according to the review of the literature, these are the top journals that work on the text mining and the data mining or the big data analytics in the tourism and hospitality field. On the top of the list, one of my favorite journals, that is the tourism management. They have the highest ranking for the Scopus, and for the Web of Sciences, sustainability has the highest ranking for the Web of Sciences, and tourism is number 2. So somebody who want to work on the application of the big data in the hospitality and tourism research, they can focus on these journals. These are the top journals that are focusing on the data analytics or big data analytics in tourism and hospitality industry. So these are the some top journals I have recently reviewed for that one, and extract the data from over there as well. So these are a few of the top journals that are working on the form of their recent literature review and working on the big data analytics, especially in the hospitality and tourism research as well. And how the big data that has been transforming from 2020 and onward and how it is contributing towards the hospitality and the tourism industry, especially the big data. It framed the novel research questions. If combined with some kind of the conceptual framework, it gives some new research question. It is also contribution towards your research as well. It also provides some kind of the new research design and methods as well in the form of text mining technology or natural language processing as well. And also it provides some kind of the generalizability of research findings to improve those findings for some institutions, economic and social geographical context as well. And one of the interesting and one of the excellent insight of this big data in the tourism hospitality industry, that it provides the real-time data because in the surveys, the consumer response or the tourist response, that is he or she filled before in the pre-pandemic scenario, his response might be changed in the post-pandemic scenario. And these are one of the interesting and advanced big data technology application that has one of the contributions towards the hospitality and tourism industry. And you can see in the next 75 years this BD technology is going to be work a lot in the hospitality and tourism industry. And somebody who want to work on the tourism and analytics research and hospitality analytics research, these are the few research streams. They can work on that one, especially in the form of the emotions, customer engagement, the tourist services and the resident and service providers. They can also work on some kind of demand evaluation and forecast prediction. Also, like I'm working on some kind of the mapping, identification, representative of tourist behavior and tourist attraction. The research stream 3, that is one of the interesting as well. Research 4, that focus on some kind of a destination and trips. And also research stream 5, that is a knowledge and value creation. And number 6, that is one of the interesting research area, probably in the form of the methodological contribution, how novel or how methodologically you can contribute to the particular research problem in the form of some new techniques, some new improving that some kind of the risk assessment or the data quality issues as well. So these are the 6 research streams. Researchers, they can work on that one and can publish their work in some top journals as well. Finally, we have the number 4, that was the big data analytics in healthcare. Since this big data analytics in healthcare was part of my PhD thesis as well. So the healthcare, that is one of the important aspect of our life, because it is day by day is going to be unaffordable, and due to the increase in the population as well, we have a lot of our life expectancy is going to be shorter, and our birth rate is going to be lower, and many people they are facing in some kind of the chronic diseases, and also they are facing some kind of economical issues due to the current recession as well. So in order to improve healthcare decision making, the big data analytics that carry a lot of applications and a lot of opportunities to analyze the healthcare data, that how to improve the quality of care, how to improve the patient decision-making process, and how to improve the organizational and the provider decision-making process as well. So healthcare analytics that mostly focus on the improving the clinical outcomes, and also improving some kind of the well-being of the patient and the disease management as well. So mostly healthcare analytics that focus on these kind of issues to improve the clinical outcome, to improve the quality of services, and to improve the quality of the treatment as well, and improve the disease management and the well-being of the patient as well. Since everyone cares about the healthcare, because the quality of life is very important towards a good health. And since most of you are the young and become healthy now, so healthcare is one of the important for not only for you, but you also want for your family as well, for your children and for your parents as well. So the clinical outcomes and the disease management, that is very important for your family or for your children. For this purpose, it is very important that we should use the big data analytics and apply some kind of novel tools to suggest some implications for the healthcare providers or healthcare organization as well. So you can see a lot of information or a lot of data that is being generated from different online sources, like online platforms or online like different databases as well. So it is very important for them, for the researchers who want to focus on the big data analytics, especially in the hospitals or in the healthcare organization as well. So there are some research directions where the researchers, they can work on that one in the form they're using the different technologies, different stages in the treatment decision-making process, in the form of the diseases as well, in the form of the wellness or in the form of the different outcomes as well. So the stakeholders that can be in the form of the patients, or that can be in the form of the healthcare provider as well. So these stakeholders, the implication is very important, where the researchers, they can work on that one and provide or suggest some kind of implications to improve the disease management and the patient well-being as well. You can see in our hospitals, we have a lot of patients that are working in the hospitals, and they are waiting in the hospital areas, and a lot of big data that has been generated in the form of face recognition, in the form of their emotions as well. For researchers, they have a lot of opportunities to work on such kind of the data, to recognize their emotions and to analyze their emotions as well. So this provides one of the great opportunity to analyze the patient emotions, that according to their location. Either they are waiting at some kind of the waiting room, or either they are at some kind of the healthcare provider as well. As you know that COVID-19, they have generated a lot of big data in the form of in the hospitals as well. So the researchers, they can collaborate with those hospitals and can analyze the data from in the form of the patient records, in the form of their readmission rate as well, or in the form of their treatment process, or their disease record as well. And not only hospitals, but there are some kind of the sensors that generate the big data as well, like in the form of the Google glasses, where the healthcare provider, they examine their patients. So these, in the form of the patient face recognition, or the face movement, or expression moments, these glasses, they used to record the data for their patients as well. So researchers, they can work on that one and analyze such kind of the big data as well. So these are the several application or several research directions in the where somebody who want to work in the healthcare analytics, they can work on that one and publish some good work in the form of the healthcare analytics or the big data implication in healthcare as well. And finally, there are some kind of sensors that generate, like mobile apps, some kind of the sensors, or like some kind of the clinical data that is responsible for the generation of the big data. Yeah, one of the important things that I forgot to mention over here, like currently I'm working on some kind of the online patient communities, or some kind of physician rating websites. This is one of the important source for the generation of the big data, or to improve the doctor-patient relationship. So researchers who want to work on this kind of stuff, they can work on that one to improve the quality of the care and improve the doctor-patient relationship. So the online patient communities, or physician rating website, or patient rating websites, these are one of the important source and freely available data that is available, and the researcher, they can scrap the data from over there and use for the analysis as well, for their data, for their research purpose as well. So that's all from my side about the implication of the big data, especially in the tourism industry, in the hospitality industry, in the healthcare industry, in the financial industry as well, and in the marketing as well. So a lot of research streams that are available, where the researchers, they can work on that one for their thesis, or for their future research direction as well. So somebody who are more interested to work on some kind of the big data analytics, especially in healthcare or some other field, you can see my contribution over the Google Scholar over here. Later on, I will share this PPT with Ms. Shiri as well. They can go through those papers and see that how the different algorithms and how the different machine learning tools that has been applied to analyze the different kind of data from the tourism, from healthcare, and from different other service sector as well. If you have any question, you can write to me on this email, and I will try my best to reply to you as soon as possible through email as well. Again, thank you very much, Ms. Shiri, Ms. Ramiza, and the other participants, and for the participants, thank you so much for listening to some of these emerging trends in the different fields, and especially in the big data analytics. And hope so you will find this presentation or this research stream interesting and will be helpful for you for your future work as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Adnan. Time to take questions from the participants. Question and answer session is now open to all participants. Request you to write your questions in the chat box. That is a question from Dr. Saina Islam Biba from Bangladesh. His deep learning analysis is related to data envelopment analysis software.
Yeah, this is one of the interesting research area. Unfortunately, since I mentioned over here that deep learning or big data, that is one of the vast fields. So one of this interesting research area, but unfortunately, I have no expertise regarding the research stream or research area that she described. So it would be better if you could write me an email so I could better understand or search some literature review for that one. So it would be more better. I can better give you the response for that one, since I have not enough expertise in this particular research stream as well.
Thank you, Dr. Adnan, for your thought-provoking session with insightful presentation, and also for enlightening us with your commendable talk and making today's session a resounding success. It's not happiness that brings us gratitude. It's gratitude that brings us happiness. With this note, may I request Ms. Farhana Jabin, Assistant Professor, Department of Business Administration, to propose the oath of thanks.
Assalamu alaikum and good evening to one and all present here. It gives me immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for this event to all assembled here. I thank Almighty Allah for having showered His blessing upon all of us. I would like to thank our Chief Guest, Dr. Adnan Muhammad Shah, postdoctoral scientific researcher, University of Hamburg, Germany, who honored this session. Sir, your session was very informative and inspiring about emerging role of big data analytics. I would like to thank the management principal, Dr. Amtul Aziz, Vice Principal, Dr. Firdos Jahan, and Dr. Barakat, Head Department of CS and ISM, for this support and encouragement. I extend my thanks to all our staff members, students, and participants. Once again, I thank one and all present here. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Adnan, for joining us. Feedback link is posted in the chat box. Request participants to fill in and submit their feedback to get e-certificate. I repeat, feedback link is posted in the chat box. Request participants to fill in and submit their feedback to get e-certificate.
Recording stopped.